Hi everyone, this is Glorious Events, and today I just want to share why I started Glorious Events. This is a personal story, a personal experience that I want to share with you, and maybe after that you will understand why at Glorious Events it matters to us that you have your wedding simple, affordable, debt-free and stress-free. This is something that happened to me firsthand. First of all, I was finalizing my exams at Uganda Management Institute. Those of you who have been there, you know how much they demand your focus and concentration. I would come straight from an exam room into a wedding meeting, and it was really stressful and taking a toll on me. I was moving house because at that time me and my partner had agreed that after the wedding we should not go back into renting, so we're putting that in place. Those who know construction and counting bags of cement, it was a whole other thing. And now this was a wedding that was between two countries, because my husband is Kenyan, so I had to coordinate that side and also this side to come up with a beautiful wedding. And it really took a toll on me, and I said, after this, I think I should support brides and grooms out there who just want to have a simple, affordable, stress-free and debt-free wedding. I say simple because you don't have to complicate everything. The weddings we see these days are actually scaring people away because people see a lot of expense, a lot of flair, and everything is just on its extreme. You don't have to do that. You can just pick one or two things that make sense to you. It can be decor, and you invest in that, and for me decor cannot go wrong, and you do that. And the other budgets can be low, or it can be cake, and your cake is really out of this world. It can be your dressing, and you tailor make your dressing, your gown, or whatever it is. Just pick one or two things that matter to you the most and invest most of the budget there. The other things, you can use service providers who are really affordable, so that at the end of the day you have a simple, really simple, classy wedding. And I'm not saying that have a cheap wedding. No, have a simple but very classy wedding. The other thing is affordability. I stress that because I need brides and grooms to be realistic. You need to sit the two of you, and between the two of you, you get to know how much money you actually have for this wedding. This issue of relying on people's pledges to do your wedding always ends up in disappointments, and you will not blame these people because it's just a pledge. Someone can either fulfill it or not. But if you have your own savings somewhere, at least 60 to 70% of your wedding budget coming from your savings, trust you me, you will not have as much stress as if you're depending on everything coming from the wedding meetings, the wedding launch, and the pledges. At least have a percentage from your savings, the two of you. Yes, I'm also talking to the wives. Don't leave the whole burden to your husbands. There are things we are good at that you can come in to chip in, maybe cake, maybe dressing, maybe makeup. There are things that you know your people who can deliver very well, and you come in that way so that you keep it affordable. The other thing I emphasize is debt-free. Debt-free, when I started, I mentioned that these days weddings are flamboyant, and if you go down to it, it is very sad to know that most people are in debts. They go into debts to make these weddings come to life. And why? Because this is just one day. You have your entire lifetime together to live it out. You need money to live your entire life together. You shouldn't spend every single coin to the extent that you're borrowing. You shouldn't do that, because you start your marriage on debts. That's already a strain. That is something that can strain your marriage very much. So you should be cautious. And I use my own experience because with my background in monitoring and evaluation, I use numbers. I'm very good with numbers. I use numbers to interpret things. So I pay very much attention to the budget that we come up with the couples, and I make sure you stick to that budget. You need to manage expectations. If you take everyone's word, this auntie is telling you do this, the other cousin is saying you should do this, the other one is saying add this one to the guest list. By the time you know it, everything is blown out of proportion. People asking you to add this money, your bills are just everywhere because you've not managed expectations. Once you've set out what you want and you have your budget, I will help you to stick to that budget and work around that budget so that you don't need to stretch out and go into debt just to satisfy one single day that is going to kickstart the rest of your lives together. We don't want anyone going into debt just to start their lives together. That's not a good start. The last thing I always emphasize is stress-free, because I was a very stressed bride. That one I will tell you. I was a very stressed bride because I was juggling so much. And this is because I couldn't find the help that I needed. I looked for a planner. I was ready to pay for a planner to help me do this process so that I could just give them my dream, explain to them what I want, and they execute. But I could not find someone like that. So I ended up doing everything myself. All the phone calls were coming to me. It was really stressful. I lost a lot of weight. All my bones were sticking out of my wedding gown, and everyone was like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? But it's because I was just happy that the day had come to pass and everything had come together. But I was really a stressed bride, and I don't want that for anyone. So if you're out there and you're having a wedding, trust professionals to help you. Get help. Even if it's not from Glorious Events, get your sister to help you, get your mother to help you, get your friend to help you. But it will be best to get a professional wedding planner, because you're paying us to do this work for you, to take off this load from you. And once we understand your dream, we stick to it and we make sure we bring it to pass the way you'd have loved it to be. Trust you me, if I had that support at that time, I would have been a very, very healthy bride. I wouldn't be so bogged down with stress. But that is why I come out to help brides and grooms to have simple, affordable, debt-free and stress-free weddings. So if you're out there and this is you, feel free to reach out to me. Let's talk. We don't have to go into weddings in debts or stress or over the budget in any way. It is possible.